Okay, good afternoon everybody. Welcome to the Batch Skills Lab. My name is Izzy Carlisle and I'm Head Operations Director of Batch. We've got Janet Ravenscroft, we've got Martin Beach, legendary Martin, who you'll probably know by name, if not by sight, and Adam Hewson, who is the owner of Hewson Books in Sheen and in Kew. So the first session, or two sessions back to back, are going to be looking at Open Bravo and then our new batch payments. So some of you will already have upgraded to 4.65, so some of these screens will be familiar. If you're not on 4.65, you may see that the screens look slightly different, so come and talk to us about upgrading, it's absolutely free. And this is really just an opportunity to talk about the new things, give you an introduction, and just to make sure that you're getting the absolute best that you can out of your BatchLine subscription. We plan to finish at about 25 past, just to give everybody an opportunity to get to the next skills lab, and we'll have 10 minutes at the end for questions, a minimum of 10 minutes for questioning. And if you've got anything that's very store specific, we may ask you just to talk to us downstairs. Sam's on the desk downstairs, because we really want to make sure that we get as many general questions as we possibly can. And with that, I'll hand over to Janet and Martin for the first part.
Hello and welcome. This session, as Izzy said, is on Open Bravo, which is a bit of software that comes with your BatchLine subscription. So we want to make sure that everybody's using it and really to explain why you should be using it and how it can benefit your... So you don't need any special software, do you?
No. So BatchLine comes with Open Bravo embedded in it, but it's not always activated. So if you're not using it, you'll be using a sales scanner for doing your sales, rather than using Open Bravo as a separate EPOS system. Once you start using Open Bravo, it really makes things much more efficient. The main thing is that you're not missing sales because you've scanned the book and you're thinking, did I sell that or not? Because it'll come up on screen. And of course, the other biggie with Open Bravo is that you get itemised receipts. So whereas with the standard Casio till, you'll just get, it's a book, $5.99. With Open Bravo, it will tell you what the title is, as well as the price.
And if people don't have Open Bravo active at the moment, it's easy for you to activate it for them, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, it's just basically turning it on.
Yeah, so the receipt options, you were saying that they can edit, that you've got quite a lot of control
yes.
on the receipts.
So the big thing about Open Bravo over a standard till is that you've got full edit control over any one line or any one receipt, whereas with a standard till, Casio till I call it, you know, if you make a mistake, I think you've just got to start again. Where with our system, you can both take out lines, edit lines, change prices, add multiple copies of one item. So there's a lot you can do without losing the till. Losing the receipt. The other thing that is pretty good as well is that you can have multiple receipts on the go. So, you know, that situation that I think everybody gets at Christmas, where somebody comes to the counter and say they produce a big receipt and then they say, I'm going to go and look at your cards. And then you think, now what do I do? So you can create multiple. Can you
split receipts as well?
You can split receipts, but I don't think it's not.
We won't go that advanced.
I don't know. I'll probably ask the audience, has anybody ever split a receipt? It's mainly for when it's in a restaurant situation, and it's actually on the menu across the top that you can split a receipt. But it's really like, I'll pay for this, you pay for that. In the bookshop, that doesn't really happen.
It does work that you can pay book tokens for part, cash for another part.
Oh yes, So when it comes to payments, yes, you can split all sorts of payments. You can have as many payment types as you like on one receipt.
And we've now got the gift receipts option.
Yeah.
So that shows you the items without the cost.
Yeah, the gift receipt and reprinting a receipt, I think two major changes that we made there, because prior to this latest version, if you wanted to reprint a receipt, you had to go hunting for it. Now, you go into edit sales and it's there. And of course the other is the old gift receipt question. It's now a button, it's not some sort of, well, if you do this, this and this, it'll work. So that's another thing that's really made it much more efficient.
And is the default now not to print a receipt?
Yes.
So you said not everybody wants a paper receipt.
Yeah. So
you can change that.
You can change that.
So you can default two things, maybe more, but certainly, do you want to print a receipt each time? And the answer is typically these days probably no. And we've defaulted the standard payment to credit card, because that always used to be cash, and that started to cause problems because you were taking cash as credit card and vice versa. So that's been sorted. Yeah.
Sorry, can I just ask a little question there about would you have to default it to never print a receipt, or can you just choose on?
No, there's an on-off button. So on the payment screen, there's an on-off button. So if you default to don't print a receipt by default, don't, then if the customer says, could you print me a receipt, it's simply a case of just pressing that button. Secondly, of course, if you fail to print the receipt, you could always go to Edit Sales and print it from there. Oh, yeah, the next real major development really was national book tokens. So now, rather than having to go onto the national book tokens site, enter a password and a PIN, etc., it's simply a case of scanning. If you want to sell a national book token, you just scan it and it pops up and says how much. So you say tenner or whatever. And then what we're looking at here is the sales screen. At the point at which you get a receipt, if you click on the NBT tab on the left-hand side, brings up that screen, and then you scan the national book token, and it just asks you how much you're going to take off that national book token.
Is that what I was thinking about the split receipts, where you have different payment types, so you can use part payments for the...
You don't have to take all of the amount off the national book token. You could do cash, card, national book token. The only thing about split receipts is that the credit card, will always come last. It will always take the amount outstanding.
And
can you just run through when you've got multiple book tokens?
Multiple book tokens? Don't know.
Sorry.
No. It's a case of scan.
Are people likely to have multiple?
It's a case of scan, add the amount, scan again. No?
Press the NBT button.
And that's because I'm not in shops too much.
You scan the first one, and it will ask you how much you want to take off the first one. Usually the follow-up, but not always. And then you press NBT again, scan the second one, same thing, and then do the third one. And it does happen.
Because if you scan, it actually just prints the receipt and
it doesn't actually come off
NBT. It doesn't come off NBT, and it doesn't. I couldn't remember which way around it was.
So you must press NBT.
When you're paying.
This is why we invited Adam.
I was thinking about when he was selling them.
So selling them, you just
scan them,
do the amount and it finishes, and then you scan a new one.
So do you reckon we need to tidy that up?
Probably do need to tidy that up.
I think that needs to tidy.
Somebody make a note.
Janet, make a note.
Make a note. Yes, sir.
Can I ask something about national book tokens?
Of course, yes.
When people come in with it on their phone, I seem to have a problem with that.
You type it in.
Well, I think we've got there's two parts to that. We have got a scanner that does work, that will scan. Yes. Unfortunately, it's a different scanner and it's an extra cost, but there is.
I usually just go back to the actual old-fashioned way of doing it.
I think we have got a bit of an issue with the keying in of numbers. Sometimes it works as far as I can see, sometimes it doesn't. So it's a bit of a bit awkward.
When you key in the number, there's another 3 numbers at the end.
The pin,
of the
yeah.
number.
You have to
Put that number in as well for it to work.
That's it,
If you put the pin in, you usually okay.
Yes, there's a pin, isn't it?
We do have a user guide for the book tokens as well as everything else. If anybody wants a user guide, And if it needs editing, let me know, because we're very happy to amend anything that we've not got
Can I
quite
ask a
right.
question? When you buy a book token, you can't use a book token to which is fine. So you buy a book token, the MBT disappears as one of your payment types, which is fantastic, no problem at all. But if someone buys 3 books and a book token and wants to pay for the overall thing, part of it, with a book token, you can't do that. So you have to do it in separate transactions because the MBT button has disappeared.
Yeah, I think that's one of the, I think that was probably a bit of a logic question, a problem that got lost in the...
I've made a note.
Thank you, Izzy.
That probably doesn't have 100.
Quick, get on that.
That's probably the case.
Well, hit them with a good news.
It's
That will hit the
it
good
only
news.
happens when you're really busy.
Somebody remove that man. In other news, hopefully you've seen this. If you are currently a BatchLine customer and you wish to begin redeeming book tokens through the system, or you're already redeeming book tokens, rather, you can apply for a credit on your BA. Yeah, it's a way of helping people, really. So if you've already started redeeming book tokens through BatchLine, you can apply for a credit. Because the reason being that book tokens are running a separate offer for brand new people who are new to book to, getting confused now, new to book tokens and to BatchLine, they can get some free kits. So those of you who've already paid out can apply for a credit. The other
Just make it
biggie,
fair, wasn't
yeah,
it?
it just makes it fair.
So it wasn't just new people. So
Yeah, so everybody can benefit. So the other biggie Martin's talked about.
Yes, the multiple payment.
Yeah.
I mean the absolute cracker, I think, is the introduction of Dojo.
That's going down really well, yeah.
Yes, it has.
It's brilliant.
So if anybody wants to add Dojo to their BatchLine, let us know. We tell Dojo, you discuss with Dojo the terms of your business with them. If you're happy with that, they will send us a code which Martin will put on your BatchLine account. Bish bash bosh, off you go.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's
basically-
very easy. Yeah. Did you have a
Yes,
question?
so we are recently with Dojo, and one of the issues we're having is when you click the button for it to transfer over to Dojo, it then connects over, the amount comes up on Dojo, but then it disconnects itself on OpenBravo. So then when they put the payment through, it comes up with, do you want to start and connect to Dojo again, rather than registering that it's been paid through it. So then you have to click that you've done it manually and print the receipt that way. So sometimes...
That's not right. What shop are you from?
There's a bookshop in Cookham.
Oh, right.
We may have to come back to you on that later.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, because we've got to just keep running on through.
I've made
We've got to
a
get to
note of
Adam's
Thank you.
bits yet.
I just don't know that. I understood all that obviously because of the background with Dojo, but I just didn't know whether everyone was up to speed with Dojo and the point of the integration, which is just in case anyone's not, that if you have Dojo and you have it connected to BatchLine, then you never have to key in the amount onto your card reader anymore. It's going to automatically appear on your card reader. And I just because we just talked about integration, we did.
Yeah.
That's the sole thing about it, but it's frankly something that when you go into 95% of shops on the high street, no one's keying in a number, but we've never previously, as an industry, really had a stock control system open to independents that does that. So it's quite a big deal.
And I think the other one that I came across yesterday, somebody mentioned, was that, that situation where with the standard credit card payment in OpenBravo, it says press the OK button to confirm you've done the credit card. And that becomes too automatic, and apparently quite often, you'll get a declined transaction and the customer's already gone. Whereas with Dojo, you're not going to get that because the OK button won't light up.
Yeah.
So you do that a couple of times and you watch it like a flame.
But you still have to learn.
In fact, I hold the book until it's done approved. They don't get it.
End of day reports.
Yeah, well, I mean, the standard end of day reports, which breaks it down into categories, so you know what you were taking by category. So books, what have we got there? Books, cards, notebooks, stationery, gift wrap. Any of your categories will come up as a value. plus what you've taken in payment types, so credit card, book tokens, what VAT you owe, so that's all there. And the thing we just recently introduced is, the thing that bugged us for a very long time was when the Z-read failed to print, and now we can reprint the Z-read for any date. Oh yeah, yeah. And of course, we've got loyalty and gift cards, which work very well. The loyalty card system. A lot of people, me included, when we first started, thought that you had to have these plastic cards or cards of some sort. That's not the case actually, because you can just use the drop down in Open Bravo and select the customer to make that a loyalty card payment. We have to set, for anybody that doesn't know, it's quite easy to set up. We just set you up with make you a loyalty card system, and from there on in, you can get at your loyalty and gift card settings and transactions on the BatchLine website. So the benefit of that is if there's a mistake or you miss adding points to a loyalty card, then you can go on and manually change them.
Can I just, first of all, the loyalty cards is brilliant, and not having to use the cards is great, because we basically just push that as a, we don't want to be using any plastic, we don't have to in our shop. The one thing that I do find quite irritating with it, and I've never spoken to you about this, so sorry about doing a public forum, is that when you...
Sorry Sarah, we forgive you.
When you search for someone's name, it always has to be in caps lock.
That's really
Yeah, it's really annoying. Because it's never in caps. You're never in capitals, and then you search, and then it doesn't put anything, and then you realise it's because...
I think that's I don't know, but I suspect that's a hangover from the fact that we force all customer names into capitals. You know, when you create a customer, and we did that because back in the day, customers used to have a combination of uppercase Smith, lowercase Smith, uppercase S Smith, and it was all the same customer.
Is it possible to force that field to go into? I know, I ask you these horrible things all the time, don't I? I'm really sorry. But it is one of those really irritating
I'll
things.
write that down.
I've always worked in cakes, can't see the bloody letter page.
Now it's over to, well, Adam in a moment. Hopefully you've seen emails from us about the new look batch payments system, which is it's exactly the same data as our American colleagues says, same book, different dust jacket. So up until the end of December, January, they're running parallel, so you can have a go at the old, or rather have a go at the new payments, and then if you're feeling a bit wobbly, go back to the old. But it's really much, much simpler and it's clearer and easier to navigate. And over to Adam to tell you why you should all be using it.
Okay.
So you go straight into your current period summary screen from when you log on. There's no messing about clicking.
Yeah, if you remember, you used to have to go to one screen and I don't want that, I want the current period summary, which is written down at the bottom. Now it goes straight to this. And so it goes straight to your business end here, and you've got the quick search up at the top. Currently misnamed, but it's just because it's not very quick right now.
It will be.
It will be. So what you would normally do is you'd say, right, I've got, in this case, that's to bring million because there's 106 open invoices in this dummy system. I'm not sure, 7,000?
I know. That's
anyway, you could click on the 106 and get your, great, use this one, and this one. Or, sorry, not quite ready. That's okay. And if you can't find it, you can then put in the quick search, you can put ISBN, EAN, RAN, ASN, order group number, any of the things that we would have different places to go to before, all in one place. So it is really quick that way. Currently there is a bit of a problem with the indexing, which is being looked at. So today the first search will take a couple of minutes or more. The second search will take seconds, and so on. So if you're patient with the first one, the rest will work. That is imminent that that's going to change, so it will be faster now. They've worked out what the difference is. Apparently the difference is because it's looking at the entire table, whereas in the old system, when you looked in invoice number, it only looked in invoice number. So the only solution was to go back to the days where invoice number here, EAN here, and which they don't want to do. Okay, so now it goes on.
Thank
Can I just canvass the room for a second, Adam, when you mentioned that? Because you mentioned about the fact that it's quick because it's looking at so many things. It's actually having a lot of data to churn through. If that search just did ISBN, invoice, RAN, ASN and order group number, would that cover 90% of the things that you are looking for?
What about credit now?
Credit note and invoice are the same.
Okay, so you capture under the same field.
Because if we know that, we can do that almost overnight. But what we don't want to do is take away the power of the search and then find, but clearly it isn't quick. And so we're looking for, so I think what we'll do then is, based on this sort of straw poll, we'll go for that. We can always come back, we can always roll it back, but we're very keen that we make it the quick search that it should be.
What is slowing it? What else could we search for? Like, you mean titles?
Yeah, basically you can put anything in and it's going through all, because it doesn't know where to go. With the advanced search, ironically, you're putting in so many criteria, it's filtering out saying, I only need to look at these tables. But with a quick search, it doesn't know which table it needs to go through, so it goes through them all and, oh, bingo. And that is what is taking the time, and once it's done it once, it's cached all that process. But it's not quick.
But like you say, there's the advanced search, isn't there? So if you were looking for title or some other thing, you go into the advanced search instead, rather than. So I think the quick search should be just limited.
Thank you. It was such an important question to ask. I thought we'd get you. So sorry, I'll interrupt you in your flow, Adam. Thank you.
So the next thing we're looking at is some of the reports you can do. So here it's
the periods.
So these are the past remittances, so you can look at the past and see what you've done. Why would you want to do this? If you've got to give information to an accountant, that's where you get the information. It gives you full VAT breakdown. Where your accountants are interested in, what you've got to give them a summary of what you've done. You've got to tell them everything about VAT, and this gives you that information. Okay, so that's that one. And then we go. Yeah, so this is the fact that you can, on the previous screen that you would have had, your normal business end screen, you can actually download all the transactions on that screen as one CSV file, or you can actually go into one of these transactions. So you could go into this claim, see the details, and download that into a CSV. So that's another thing that you can do. All right, so on to the next one, which is.
Oh,
okay.
Need to hit a button to keep the TV on.
55 seconds. Turn us off. What the heck's going on?
Where's the TV remote?
Okay. Can you select okay?
No, you need to use the remote control behind you. Yeah.
You need the TV remote.
Yeah, I think we've got the TV remote.
You just need to press the OK button on your TV remote.
Had there been an easy OK button, I'll do that.
Is there anything blue?
What's this? No, it's not that.
Isn't it? But really rattle through quickly.
Just turning back on again.
Here's our man.
Just turn it back on again so you can
The secret.
Just press OK.
Where's the
Everybody's dead.
There we go.
Okay, here we go.
I'm blaming Garden for this.
We're playing that one. So this is a new thing that you can do now.
So you've got an
And I like to think, why would you do this? I've got some reasons why you want to do this. So you're in a situation, we're now looking at the future period summary. So next month payments or month after payments, if you've managed to get really long term. You can look at these and bring them to pay now, this month instead of next month. Now, why would you do that? Okay, so it's the time that we're now looking at, we're going to be spending a lot of money to be buying Christmas books. Let's say I just had an event with the school, had the money from the school, why not just pay that money now and then leave my open to buy free for next month? So I'm not using up all my budget this month. When this month I've got plenty, but next month I'm going to be running out because I'm being buying Christmas stock. And it is, you can go into it, you can either click on that open there, that will do all of them, or you can go into this 23, and then you can collect individual invoices and pay those. Okay, that's the new ones. Okay, so this is how the general screen works. You're probably all familiar with this. If you're not, if you're new to BatchLine, you've got 5 buttons you can use here. The R button you'd used had you previously looked at something and said, I've authorised that one and I don't want to. So R reverts it to being open. A is authorising it. So I've had this, it's been booked in, I'm happy with it, and we say, yeah, I'm authorising it for payment. Some shops, organisations with more than one shop, might not want everyone doing it. They might want to control that centrally. They might have a bookkeeper who does that. You can set your shops up so it can verify. Not everyone has a V right now. You can set your shops up so that the goods in people, they verify the invoice, but they don't necessarily check it. So they're not necessarily looking that you've got the right discount and things. So generally, if you're the only person in the shop and you're dealing with it, you can go straight to authorization. Others may want to verify it, particularly if you've got more than one shop. N says, I'm not paying this. Okay? And it could be because it's a claim that isn't right. You made a claim, find it's wrong, you cancel the claim. Or you've paid by credit card or whatever, there's another reason you've already paid it. So you can say, I'm not paying it. The record stays on the system and it just says it's not paid. And then C is, these buttons, once you press them, they stay on. You can't unpress them. So C means, oh, I didn't mean to authorize that invoice. I meant to authorize the one below. So it's C for cancel on that one. As soon as you press any one, this green light comes on, and then you update the ones you've got to do that. Okay, that's how you not pay. You press the end. Then that one gets its own screen.
Yeah.
On to the next one.
Well, I think, and I don't know how many people are aware of that, so it means that you can choose, because if you're on batch payments, you don't just have to use batch payments. If you want to pay some invoices by credit card, mark that's not paying, and then clear the rest. So it's a really useful tool.
Okay, we will go a bit later to how you claim on things like this. This is another useful function in here, particularly if you do the verify authorize, is you can actually go back and see what's happened. So you can see it was authorized to, then it was reopened. So this was authorized, then it was reopened for whatever reason, and then it was authorized again, and then reopened again. Yes. So you can say, Roshni, what are you doing? Why are you doing? But it could be because you've authorized it, then realize, hang on, there's a damage, we didn't claim for a damage, you can reopen it. Claim for the damage, close it again. If people don't know about claiming for damages on batch, that's coming up. Okay, the next one.
It's also just to make the point that you can authorise everything, but you can go back up to 1 minute before the authorisation date and you can change your mind. So again, so then you can see that may be why something's been authorised, unauthorised, etc.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then we come to the different reports that you.
Okay, so the different reports, rattle through these really quickly because we've got about 3 minutes
It's
now.
much easier to find them than it used to be.
All in one place.
Away in a dark corner of the system.
So the status shows what's ready, past payment, what you've paid before. Bookseller status has everything you've got to pay across the board. Supplier status gives you the same screen, but you can pick a supplier. And it gives you a drop-down menu, so you can say, what do I need to pay a share, what do I need to pay on close. These CSV downloads are for your own reporting that you might want to take out. The transaction list report, it gives you a list of everything you've got currently for within a time period. So it goes in and gives you 2 dates, and you put from and to. And you can look at that by, there isn't a screen for this, you can do it by just everything that's open. You can do it open by branch, so I do that for my 2 shops. So it distinguishes what's Kew and what's Sheen. So I can tell the accountant, this money is what Kew's paying, this money is what Sheen's paying. You can do it by due date. Each time you run these reports, it puts it into a little zip file. You get a summary, which is what you use most of the time, but you can actually get a detailed report that will tell you every ISBN you got in that month. Okay. And then there's outstanding transactions or transactions are outstanding transactions. That's how the bookseller status works. And that's one of the reports. So the supplier status does the same, except you've got the drop-down menu. Okay, that's that one. Advanced search is Generally, you're probably not going to use this to do day-to-day searches because you've got the exact information already. You've probably got an ISBN, probably got an invoice number. There's not a lot of point putting an invoice number and a date. You're just making more work for yourself. If you put an ISBN here and see every time you've got that ISBN, there might be reasons. I want to know every time last year I got that ISBN. I don't know. That's when you do ISBNs and date. What you can do though is you can pick a supplier and you can pick all the returns I did to that supplier over a period of time. So when you're doing your green audit and how many returns you sent back, you can get that sort of information from here. You can find out how much you bought from a particular distributor. So you want to say to Penguin, look, I've been putting all this money through to TBS. Raise my terms, thank you. So you can get information from that. But the specific stuff, you're more likely to use Quick Search, which we see next. And yeah, it gives you all of those things, and we've said we're happy with those. Okay, almost there. This is brilliant. And if you don't know about this, learn now. And this is the one thing you take away. If you don't know about this already, this is brilliant. 5, thank you. On your general screen, on the very far right, when you open it up and see all the invoices to a supplier, on the very far right, there's the word claim. Okay? If you click on claim, you get this screen. And you can claim right then, whether it's, in this case, there's a lot more than you can do. If it's shortage, if it's been damaged, and you can make the claim right away. That sends the email to the supplier. Sometimes you'll get, like, gardeners will send you an email that says, thank you very much, we've recorded that, and then you can collect those, put them one side and send them all in one go. For most suppliers though, certainly the big ones, HarperCollins, Macmillan, TBS, GBS, and Hachette, that's enough. You don't have to send a title page. You don't have to send a follow-on thing. You should get your claim in a few days. You should get your credit in a few days.
Macmillan ask for title pages.
Yeah, sometimes they do.
They don't need them. Just tell them you don't need them.
Take a picture. Take a picture and send an email with the picture and the invoice number, and they will.
But you don't need to. Only if they ask. Now, Combined Book Services or Marston, they want photographs. But that's a different one. The big ones, you don't need to right now. Then what you'll get later, what have we got there? Yeah, so that says it's got a manufacturing defect in here. And you create your claim. And it does ask you about, there are a couple of checks there. Do this, are you really sure there's a verified? Just to make sure you're not doing it by mistake. And then you get, that's what the credit note looks like. So you can see the credit note to see the details of the credit note, similar to what you get with an invoice.
The timeline.
And this is what will happen a few days after you've made your claim. So in this case, we received this invoice on the 25th of August and authorised it. At the same time, we made the claim. So we've agreed we're going to pay £323 and something, so less the £7.99. So we've agreed to pay for everything we got. We're not paying for the damaged book. Then when we get the credit, we can now authorise both of these, which means we are paying for this and accepting the credit, so we get our £7.99. And that, as you can see in this case, it was done on the 25th. The invoice on the 25th probably came in on the 26th. We raised a claim, and 5 days later, we got our credit. And no title pages or anything went through. And you can actually click that A there, and it will just authorise all of them. And it is pretty really fine. I think
that's kind of it.
That's it for what we've got. Right.
The other thing is that if you are on payments, you can integrate with QuickBooks or Xero free of charge, or Sage via BIS, and there is a charge for the Sage integration. And it does, of course, all link beautifully with BatchLine. And according to what's his name, Adam Hewson, it's all marvellous. It's been a massive
marvellous. I've tried to find it has saved probably a couple of hours a month.
And not just Adam thinks it's good, other people think it's good. That's Peter Donaldson from Redline in Colchester also tested it for us. So that's it, really. So, but we have any... Got 10 minutes.
2 or 3 minutes here before we need to switch over rooms.
Oh yeah, we're dashing across the hall.
Just regards the dojo,
payment. Is there any plans to integrate with anyone else?
Not at the moment, as far as I know.
Because the deal with Dojo was done by the BA, and obviously with the BA stock management.
Do you feel that there should be more?
Do you mean integration with other card?
Because we integrate before we have Lloyds on the desk, and we use Square for all of our websites, and there is no way we can move to another system. Even though I can see the benefits in the shop, I don't want another payment system.
No. We haven't got any plans at the moment, but that doesn't mean to say that we wouldn't consider or we wouldn't look at it.
You answer this if you like, but have you talked to Square?
Pardon?
Have you talked to them? Because they are very innovative. Square payments.
No, we haven't yet.
Yeah, please do.
Okay. Any other questions?
Why are you so resistant to change? Because Dojo will pay up to £4,000 if you're to close your contract.
Money. We integrated our.
I've been for the website. I understand.
Yeah. Well, no. Even for our subscription service, they are pretty much, because we're in Cornwall and with the internet connectivity like everywhere else in the world. It's the only one that works. And I would be very unwilling to move away.
We do have whenever people send in suggestions, we do have a list, we do have a development list, and we work through it. Thank you. Tell them his name. Sorry.
Yeah, I've written it down.
Oh yeah.
I know.
You know who he is. Going on the list, mate. Going on the list.
Any other questions before we switch rooms?
We're going to continue with BatchLine across the hall now. Yes. Well, I think so. Unless.
Why don't you just get someone to stand there?
Oh, okay.
There's an advisor in here, I think.
Depends. Okay, we're going to cross that out.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.